What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our week 1 team builder, taking on Kade in the Irvine Infernapes. His team consists of Ash Greninja, Infernape, Donphan, Jellicent, Druddigon, Komala, Mega Pinsir, Clefable, Alolan Raichu, Muck, and Kartana. He has priority in the Ash Gren with Water Shuriken, Infernape with Vacuum Wave and Mach Punch, Donphan with Ice Shard, Druddigon with Sucker Punch, Mega Pinsir with Quick Attack, Kamala with Sucker Punch as well, sorry, and the Muck with Shadow Sneak. Alolan Raichu has like E-Speed and Fake Out and stuff, but it's not super relevant because it's a special attacker anyways. Hazard setting, he's got the Greninja with Spikes, Infernape with Rocks, Donphan with Rocks, Druddigon with Rocks, Mega Pinsir with Rocks, and Clefable with Rocks, so tons of rockers. Removal options is the Donphan with Rapid Spin, Komala with Rapid Spin, and Kartana with Defog. So it's reasonably reliable, and he doesn't have a ton of mons weak to it, but it's probably not good enough to help out the Mega Pinsir. 4x weaknesses is the Mega Pinsir Rock and the Kartana to Fire. So in terms of what I'm expecting him to bring versus not expecting in like threats and whatnot, I think Muck is the only thing that I'm not really expecting. It can kind of handle my special offense a little bit, but it gets a bit blown back by all of my physical offense, and I can always just run like physical Genesect against him, right? So he's got to be worried about that sort of stuff. Kartana is a threat. Kartana's a big threat. I do think it comes. I think Mega Pinsir is probably the biggest threat to my team. So I think Mega Pinsir's coming. I think Clefable is coming for sure. Because it's him, I think Infernape is coming. I also kind of think that the Druddigon is coming, if I'm being honest. I do think that the Druddigon is coming. He doesn't have the best answers to Genesect overall. So I wouldn't be surprised if it was more of a specially defensive Infernape to try and check Genesect. Jellicent is an option for him. Ash Greninja's a good offensive threat. It might actually see the bench this game, but it might not. Donphan is a really reliable spinner in this matchup in particular. It doesn't necessarily beat a ton of stuff, but it can stop Thundy T from going absolutely ham against him. And what else? Komala. I don't think Kamala's coming. Kamala's on my list of things that probably don't come. I haven't marked it off though. Alolan Raichu is something else that I'm not really sure is coming, but it threatens Mega Gyarados, so I wouldn't be shocked if it was like a Scarf Alolan Raichu or something like that. The weird thing about his team, and let's just touch on this now, right? So there's something really weird about his speed tiers. He has a drop-off from Mega Pinsir all the way down to Komala in terms of speed. It's a 40 speed point gap. And almost all of my offense fits in that gap, which lets me run Adamant or Modest on all of them. So I want to preface this before I start going through my team. I think I've got a very bad defensive matchup against him, but I also have a fantastic offensive matchup because of the way that he's made his speed tiers so poor. So it's prime opportunity for literally everything that I'm bringing except for Cinderace to run a boosting nature, which is just going to blow back his defensive mons. My mons are strong enough that they're just going to rip through all of that. So let's start talking about my team now. I'm leading with this Garchomp. This is my dedicated lead Garchomp. I decided I wanted to sort of try this against his team because I'm not super thrilled about the matchup in general. And this is sort of a way that I can overcome some of the matchup problems, in particular Druddigon. Druddigon is like the biggest problem for Cinderace and Mega Gyarados, and Garchomp is one way that I can effectively deal with the Druddigon and get my rocks up at the same time for the Pinsir, which I think is useful for me, as well as breaking a potential Sash on the Infernape. I think Boots Infernape makes more sense in this matchup. If I'm being honest, I think Boots like Spit F Slack Off for Genesect is definitely the play, because you always threaten the Genesect and you can switch into it over and over again because Genesect doesn't get psychic coverage, I don't think. So little does he know. Actually, I don't remember what drive I switched to in the end, but originally I was Douse Drive. I'm not sure if I'm still Douse Drive, but Water Technoblast would blow the shit out of that. So anyways, it's lead Garchomp with Roselia Berry for the Clef. I can tank a Moonblast, and +2 Earthquake does a lot of damage. I don't think that he would lead with Clef. I think he's going to lead with an Infernape or a Donphan, something along those lines. If he leads an Infernape, he's going to be threatened by me right away. So what I can do against an Infernape is probably kill myself, I guess. The problem against lead Infernape is basically you bring it down to Sash and then it endeavors and you're screwed. So the best way for me to get around that would actually be to run Scale Shot over Dragon Claw, which I'm now debating because I could beat lead Infernape with that. I think I do swap to Scale Shot because then it doesn't get a chance to endeavor me afterwards because I'd be faster. So I will go with the Scale Shot. We'll go with the Skill Shot there. I'm outspeeding something in particular. I'm outspeeding No Speed Kartana, which is coincidentally also faster than Komala, so killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. Rocks are important here to check the pincer. At the very least, make sure the pincer comes in at 75%, and then later it would only be down to 25, which is like pick-offable, or it would die to the combination of a rough skin a couple of times. SD just might be the play turn 1, depending on what I'm up against. If I'm up against the Druddigon, I might just SD in its face. If I'm up against the Clefable, I also probably just SD in its face. Donphan, probably SD in its face. Like, there's a few things that I would probably just SD on right away. I'm not really sure that I'm ever going to click SD outside of a lead matchup, so it's not that useful outside of that. But I've got enough bulk where I can live quite a few moves because I'm able to be adamant, still adamant max attack, but I barely have to run any speed, so I get all of the bulk in the world. Actually, I should move this into defense for Ice Shards from Donphan. So that's my lead jump. Tangrowth is next, and bring fully Spadef AV Tangrowth. This should handle Ashgren just fine. It should handle Ashgren plus Clef just fine. Plus Alolan Raichu just fine, plus Jellicent, definitely Jellicent just fine. I'm running a reasonably specially offensive set rather than like a mixed set, but I've got the Gigadreen. This also switches into Donphan incredibly well besides knockoff. Gigadreen heals off of a lot of stuff in this game, and especially when I'm checking Ashgren. By the way, a Specs Ashgren will 2-shot me with Ice Beam, but it needs to be transformed first, so it doesn't get to transform for free on me. Sludge Bomb is there for the Clef, Rock Tomb is there for the Pincer, and just slowing things down in general. And then Focus Blast is there pretty much only for the Kartana. I don't think I would click it against anything else, but I'm not like strong enough to beat Kartana 1v1 without Focus Blast, so that is what the Focus Blast is there for. If the Kartana comes in on me and wants to try and set up, I'm going to Focus Blast it in the face and hopefully kill it. Slowking, I'm bringing Boots Slowking. I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to remove his hazards this game, so I'm running Boots Slowking to be a little bit more effective at handling the physical offense. This is primarily my Mega Pinsir and Infernape check. He could definitely be running just X's or Mega Pinsir, and it might be all for naught. I might just be screwed out of my mind. This is obviously not a Kartana check by all means. It's a semi-muck check, Infernape check, Druddigon check, things like that, right? Excuse me. I can switch into Donphan too. Port, Slack Off, Future Sight, Scald. It's about all I need. His Dark type is the Ashgren, so if I can force that in on a Future Sight, then I can at least bring in my Tangrowth. And nothing else wants to tank a Future Sight. Like, actually, Future Sight is going to be strong enough that nothing else will want to tank it. So if I can get a Future Sight off and like force him to play around that for a couple turns, that might open up a door for Mega Gyarados. I am bringing Burn Drive Genesect, so I swapped it from Douse Drive to Burn Drive. Why? Because I didn't want to run... Oh, because I can kind of handle Kartana with this. Like, I can't switch into Kartana necessarily, but I can at least, like, kill it with a Flamethrower. You know what would have been genius is not doing this, but that's okay. Douse Drive is like infinitely better in this game, and I don't know why I'm Burn Drive right now. I'd have to rebuild the whole set, so I might do that before the game. Burn Drive, what am I Burn Drive for? It must just be for the Kartana. Flash Cannon melts through a lot of this team, in particular the Donphan and the Drotagun and the Clefable. They all just get bopped by Flash Cannon. And then Thunderbolt helps me against, excuse me, Grand and Jellicent. And Pinsir if it's not Mega Vault, or if it's Mega Vault, sorry. And then I'm Burn Drive just for the Kartana. Just for the Kartana. So I guess I'm not handling Infernape all that well with this Genesect. It is just going to be able to U-turn on me for free, and even with all the bulk, I still died any fire move. I'm hitting the same speed as Garchomp, by the way, so I'm outspeeding no speed Kartana. If he wants to be like a max HP Kartana, then I'll melt it with Burn Drive Technoblast. Technoblast is like reasonably spammable. I guess it's sort of a neutral hit against a lot of things, besides the Infernape, which I'm not even going to bother running the calc on that. Cinderace, I'm bringing Boots Cinderace with Gunk, Pyro Ball, U-turn, and Zen Headbutt. Might regret the Zen Headbutt here, but it's only there for the Infernape. That's the only reason that I have the Zen Headbutt. Gunk is there for the Clef, and then I've got U-turn and Pyro Ball to get in and out of things. I should consider Protective Pads, but I think what I'm going to do is just tank the damage from Drotagun and be able to get in like Garchomp for free, or Genesect. Actually, maybe Genesect for free on the Drotagun, because he doesn't really have, like, Infernape is his only Genesect answer. +1 Genesect melts a lot of stuff, and I guaranteed get the download boost off of the Drotagun, so things switching with an Assault Vest afterwards doesn't really matter. I'm outspeeding Raichu with this, which is the fastest mon I can, and then I've just got enough bulk left over to do whatever. And this is Blaze Cinderace, not Libero, so I have to run Blaze. Pyro Ball is kind of a menace to some of the Kartanas of the world and the Mega Pinsers of the world, so I will outspeed Mega Pinsir. I need to be sure that I'm in a position where it can't just like quick attack through my team, because that might be really bad late game. Mega Gyarados is coming as well with Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Crunch, and Flamethrower. Flamethrower does not outright kill the Kartana, so this is something we have to be a little bit worried about. It will not outspeed. I'm not outspeeding like max speed stuff with this, but I am running enough speed to outspeed Ash Gren at +1. So if he's not running any Scarfers, I will outspeed his whole team after Dragon Dance, and I'm adamant. A little bit of HP there. Waterfall and Crunch and Dragon Dance is all like very standard, right? With Mold Breaker, I go through Unaware Clef, so there's no reason for him to bring Unaware Clef. That's another reason why I'm bringing ST Chomp as a lead, because I know he's not going to be Unaware Clef. He would be stupid to be Unaware Clef against Mold Breaker Gyarados. Waterfall Crunch does enough against all of his team, outside of the Kartana. Kartana walls both of those moves, which is why I'm running Flamethrower. Now, Kartana does need to be chipped a little bit for that Flamethrower to actually kill. So I do have to be a little bit worried about trying to sweep with this if Kartana is not chipped yet. But if the Kartana doesn't come at all, that would be fantastic, and then I don't even need to worry about it. But if it is coming, then I do need to worry. So that is the team. In terms of what I'm not bringing, Mimikyu I had slotted on at one point and then decided it wasn't really worth it against Clefable Kartana. Clef, like even non-unaware Clef, it's really hard to like set up to a point where I can actually kill it. And I'm not sure that I'm in a position to clean well in this game. And Kartana just kind of walls Mimikyu for the most part. You really have to run Drain Punch. I prefer to be Z Splash, but there's no Z moves, so. Kecleon is another thing I considered as an Ash Gren check, but ended up not going with that. Thundy T is something that I considered very briefly, but ended up not going with as well. It's kind of a threat. It's probably my next best. It would be like a 7th Mon in this matchup if I needed it to be. Hitmonchan is also kind of okay as an Ash Gren check. It's really weak to Mega Pinsir, and it's not like my team isn't already weak to that, so I didn't want to bring that. And then Aggron, which is a great Mega Pinsir check, but is really bad against Ash Gren and Infernape. And it's also not a great Mega Pinsir check. I don't know why I said that, because Mega Pinsir gets either Earthquake or Close Combat, both of which are 4 times super effective against the Aggron. So I have to run Sturdy, and I have to be at full HP, I guess. So I'd have to be like Boots Sturdy, not take a hit from absolutely anything else, and then fire off a rock move and hope that he stays in. So that's not really a reliable strat against Pinsir. Not that my strat in this game is reliable at all either. Just trying to like burn it with Slowking and beat it down with Cinderace after, because it doesn't get speed booster, right? So it has to be +2 quick attack. Anyways, that's going to be it for this one. I'm not entirely sure how confident I am in this. It's been a really long time since we lost week 1 in NCL. It's been all the way since season 1, but this might be a repeat of that. So that's going to be it for me. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys for the match.